Hi, it's Pigsy. I'm just going to just get on with the video here. Actually, I usually go out and about and do some videos on parks and stuff. What I'm looking at the moment, and part of a major research, is basically missing cases, missing people, the causes that would be. Let's put it this way: is would be what you'd see as extraordinary. Most cases where people disappear are usually quite straightforward. Within about a week they return, no problem, not an issue. A lot of kids run away, things like that. With missing people, most cases follow a pattern and are easy to figure out. Basically, you can tell if someone's going to run away long term. Just their background, they've probably usually run away before. History of abuse in their family, criminality and other influences are in their life. Possibly they fell in love with somebody, the wrong person, and they've decided to run away for that reason. But yeah, I mean, for a longer period of time, when somebody disappears for over 5 years without a trace is a bit highly unusual, to say the least. It's when it gets to the point where longer than 5 years, no trace, no body, no nothing, then it's more suspected they've fallen into some kind of form of foul play. Quite commonly, they may have become a part of a human trafficking. They may have come to foul ends in different ways. There's a lot of psychopaths. There's a lot of people that pick on a vulnerable group of people and quite happily take them and use them for their own endings. Where people have a certain type of criminality, then they're likely to take these people and use them for their own devices, because there's no intention or a reason to keep them alive, and they fulfil their own needs. You've got certain types of, say, this is be like the underground, where this type of activity occurs, and so there are groups of people that get preyed upon by other groups of people for their own needs, and these people would be more sadistic, psychopathic. They fall into a remit of type of sadistic, Satanist type individuals, self-serving, have certain belief systems, take advantage of others. Things like cruelty and so on are quite entertaining and enjoyable to do. I think to a lot of people they have these traits anyway, in different forms. Like people enjoy watching horror films, but they have a fine line between sort of entertainment watching on TV and actually carrying it out, which is a different ballgame altogether. So that's the more ordinary types of abduction, missing people, murder. But usually you find a body would turn up. You don't just have people disappear forever and ever. So, but then we move on to the more unusual, which would be there's corporate interests in abduction of people, used for types of experiments, military, medical. There's other things where there's more ritualistic abuse to someone long term. I mean, you've had cases where sometimes with their own family, they just take them and they go underground. I mean, there was a case with a guy who took his daughter and he lived out a fantasy world. If enough money and power and so on, he could probably do that. If there was if he was a part of a group, then it would never come to a surface. It's only because in this particular case, if I go into too much detail, he became too vulnerable to look after himself, and so he just turned himself over, and he was unable to manage this alternative lifestyle. For some of the people that get human trafficked, once they're into drugs and they're abused, their identity can be almost scrubbed for their minds, and they act out as assets to a company, and then when they eventually, if they've got no purpose or use anymore, they can just be deleted or removed for that reason. With corporate interest is that you get different types of experiments that get carried out. I've done a lot of different types of research into some sort of areas that might be considered very alternative, very strange. These experiments were carried out by the Nazis, and the medical interest in the human body. They wanted to know the difference between what makes them pure and what makes other races weak. They did experiments on people that were gay. They did experiments on people that were twins. They did people of different races. They wanted to prove that their race is in some way superior. What makes them different? They had less understanding at the time of genetics. And then, so if I wanted to roll it back to try and make sense of missing people and maybe even where we've come from, I mean, in the past, Earth was an original home. There's possibly a lot of ET type DNA that's in our bodies. People that may not want to admit that, they may say, oh, we're pure, we're this and that. Fine, carry on, do that. But we aren't something that fits into normal remit of nature. There's a lot of stuff about us that's very genetically differently to any life on this planet. I mean, yes, we do have some genetics from this planet which shows some form of hybridization. We possibly wasn't the first race, though, to where we are at the moment. So basically, our DNA has been tailored for this planet as a part of an experiment.